Adam Carolla, very interesting, went off about the taxing and tips. Now, Bell, be prepared, just in case, because I think I got it all, but I'm not going to lie to you, brother. He says some bad words here. That's why it took me 3 stop sets to get through. But he's talking about, so I don't know how you people feel about the taxes and tips. He has a strong feeling about it, which I somewhat agree with. Are we ready to hear it? Here we go.
23-year-old hot chick who's walking out with big handfuls of fucking cash over doing nothing all fucking night in air conditioning. And by the way, you work in a field where what the the bottle service? All right, it's $1,000 for a bottle of what? Vodka?
Yeah.
You're getting tipped based on just bringing a bottle out? And also, what's the difference? There's jobs where nobody tips. You work behind the grill at a McDonald's. I work behind the grill. I never got a fucking tip.
That's true. I worked fast food. I never, when I was a kid. I did when I drove for Domino's. I got tipped. But yeah, that's true. And you don't tip the people at McDonald's. But the no taxes on tips. Here's my thing with that. Okay, no taxes on tips. How do you fix it? So I work for free, but these people tip me here at this place I work. So it's like, well, I know there's an area where you can't go pie. Yeah, but there's a lot of situations here where I understand the wanting to win this thing, but I feel like there's also opportunities here, if you will, to maybe be a little skeezy. He ain't done.
See, just some hot chick who walks around, drops off drinks, or there's a bottle of wine, and the bottle of wine's $300. You're just getting tipped on that versus a bottle of wine that's $18 or $31. Same bottle, same cork, same thing, same whatever. Fuck, tip the tax this out of them. Tax those tips.
Wildly popular.
Free fucking money. Why do you guys need more free money? And by the way, if you're in an industry where you're being tipped, you're either serving booze or you're not doing anything. You understand? You don't have a skill. We don't need you. You're just bringing people shit. You don't have a skill. I don't care. You're bringing people food. That's not a skill. You're making a drink or you're giving a rub or whatever you're doing. It's not. If you're in a business that gets tips, you're probably hurting humanity. You are either bringing them booze or dealing blackjack.
Yeah.
You're doing something. There's some vice. There's some vice world. You're doing something. So you don't tip the plumber who comes to your house. You don't.
Yeah, you don't tip the plumber. Nathan, text us. You ever been tipped? Yeah, that's not true. There's times I'd throw them $20. Hey, go get lunch or something on me. But you don't tip like that. And if some of you guys have Reels and TikToks, have you ever gone through and there'll be this, hey, come with me while I work at the club for the weekend. And these girls are like 24 and they got $12,000 cash for, 3 days work. Because, we're not talking about, somebody at Chili's. So should we tax strippers more? So we're going to have a regular old tax, and we'll have a stripper tax.
No tax on strippers.
No tax on strippers, period. Because they're doing a service for humanity.
They shouldn't even have to pay income tax or sales tax.
On strippers?
Correct.
Should I be able to write it off? Let's ask Hunter.
Yes.
Biden.
You should.
Oh, my Lord. A little bit more from Adam Carolla. Not happy about the whole no tax on tips.
Tip the electrician that comes to your house. You don't tip the guy at the Home Depot, gets the rolling ladder and goes up a story and gets, measuring off anchor chain for you and cuts it and wraps it, puts the thing on it and hands it to you. No tip for him. There's no tip. There's no tip for cops or firemen. There's no tip for I did construction my entire life. I never got a fucking tip. But you bring me booze at an airport, we got to tip you out?
Yes. That's the way it is. It's funny. My wife and I had this conversation last night about tips. So we did not a DoorDash, but one of the ones where they go get your groceries because it's safer for us if we don't go to certain places because the next thing you know, the impulse buys gets us an extra $200 of crap we don't need. And my wife tipped the person out like $35. And she goes, I said, that's really good. And I go, yeah, you think about it. Like somebody brings you a pizza or something like that and you give them a nice tip. They just brought you a pizza. This person actually went to the store and shopped for you. They deserve a little bit more than, an attaboy. I think it was DoorDash. I'm not quite sure. Seriously, I was a server in high school. It's the hardest job keeping everyone happy at the tables. Well, it's a personal job. Dad, people talking about strippers. No, he did not suck at construction. For those of you guys who don't know, Adam Carolla he's a straight out contractor. Dude is brilliant at stuff. I mean, he is when it comes to construction, that guy knows what he's doing and what he talks about. He didn't suck at that stuff. I tipped my garbage man. Dale, do you give a Christmas present to your mailman? Remember that? That was a big thing.
I never knew that was a thing until I saw it on TV, like on Seinfeld or something like that. I had no idea that was that ever happened.
Yeah, I didn't. Instacart, that's what it was. Because my grandmother used to, like, that was my grandmother's thing. She used to give, like, can you give this to the mailman? Make sure he gets it for Christmas. And I'm like, what? What are you giving him that for? But that was like a thing. And I did like you. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were supposed to give your mailman something. He's doing his job. Delivering the mail.
A unionized federal employee.
Yeah. What does he need? Well, and it's always booze too, right? With mailman? It's always booze.
Or cash.
Oh. Yeah. It's so weird. I didn't know you were supposed to do that.
There's that episode of Friends where they had an argument about how much to tip the superintendent of the building, which I guess would make some sort of sense because if you're one of the tenants that tips, he's going to be at your apartment a lot quicker than the ones that don't.
It is, you know what? That right there is one of those, I'll do the same thing. Whenever I go to a restaurant, like it's like if I go to a Mexican restaurant and the guy's bringing me chips or whoever it is, you give that guy like $10, $5 right off the bat. That person's going to make sure you're never going to be without chips. Your glass is always going to be full with water or whatever you need. They're always going to be coming around checking on you because you did something nice and they remember that. And that's a good thing.
I remember when I was underage that we used to we would order Domino's and ask for the driver before they left, and we would offer to tip him if he stopped and got us beer. And that actually, back then, that actually worked.
There was back then you could do just about anything you wanted. It's like they weren't really stopping you. Yeah. I used to go buy my dad cigarettes when I was like 12.
My parents had me do that too when I was way underage.
Yeah, and they didn't care. Like we knew the guy at the street, right? This guy, this little Asian guy was funny.